crazy assassin rogue. Just like that. Hell and Meshes Adventures, it's me, the Spud King. Welcome to the world of Baldurs Gate 3, and today I will show you a rogue build. Yeah, when you're thinking about rogue, you're thinking about small gnome, maybe half-elf, maybe even drow, drow from the shadows. But today we're going to make build with assassin rogue, and our class is not even elf, it's not even human, but half orc. Yeah, we're picking this brutal half orc to be our sneaky rogue. So let's go. When we start a new game as a rogue, we will get additional actions like sneak attack, so you're dealing additional damage from sneaky positioning when you have advantage against targets, basically. And when you're sneaking up against them, you will have advantage always. You can do it with ranged weapons or melee weapons. So for background, it's really important to pick criminal, to have the stealth checks at its highest point, because we're playing orc, he's not really too stealthy guy, and let's use our points, let's allocate our ability points, but first of all, skill proficiencies. So always get proficiency in stealth, and you can have a little bit in deception. Then always get perception checks, and that's basically it, whatever you like. So you can have acrobatics, you can have sleight of hand, or you can just leave acrobatics off and pick investigation. So for our point, strength. It's always an option to use strength as rogue, but it's not very practical. So for assassins attempting to go into stealth mode and surprise your enemies for critical strikes, more on that later when we will be making our build, this is not just working, so we just dump strength, we don't need any strength. Dexterity is our main attribute for our attacks with finest weapons, for our daggers, for our long range weapons, and of course for our armor class in leather armor. So we go all in on the dexterity. With this build we will be almost melee class, so we want to have at least some constitution. For 14 is nice. We don't need any intelligence, and we can have a little bit wisdom because it's the most common saving throw attribute. And now you can decide. So you can have charisma for just like role-playing stuff. It will increase your different checks in dialogues. Your deception checks will be from charisma based. So basically you can have a little bit in charisma, or you can dump it if you want more stronger stuff, and you can have a little bit more in constitution and just get +2 into strength, for example, and maybe even +1 into intelligence, or something like this. So charisma 14, wisdom 10, constitution 15, dexterity 15, something like this. Dexterity is main attribute, so we're going with +2 into dexterity, and we're getting +1 into constitution. So why we're picking half orc? Our main idea here is to make assassins that will go from the shadows, surprise his enemies, and do critical strikes. And while you're doing critical strikes with half orc, you will get savage attacks, which will, instead of doubled damage, tripled damage. So that's just crazy, and that's how our build will work. But more on that later. We are ready to jump into the game. So most important stuff that you need to learn when you're playing rogue is to actually pressing C button at least sometimes. So C button makes you hide, or you can just press it over here on the command tab below. So when you're going to hide, you're becoming stealthy, you move a little bit slower, but enemy won't see you. And when you're attacking from hidden position, it will be really secretly sneaky attack, just like that. So that's all you need to know when you level 1 rogue. And you just go from sneak attack and attack with sneak attack, basically. That's all you need to do. And let's start our journey when we're leveling up rogue. Level 2, we'll get different actions, cunning action, hide, dash, and disengage. What is this actions? It's basically using hide, dash, and disengage action as bonus action. That's big, and that's great for rogue, because you want to use these actions a lot, and they won't cost you any actions. So you basically can use hide action and attack in the same turn. So level 3, that's where our build begins, when we're picking our subclass. And our subclass for today build is Assassin. So we got different features as Assassin. We can have Assassinate Initiative, and in combat we have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't attacked or even taken turn yet. So basically this means we want to go and attack as first one in our group. We always want to be as first one, and that's actually making gameplay a lot more funnier because you're always going in first. So for example, when you play in mage, you actually don't want to go first, but you play your role-playing as your main character, and when you go and talk with some bandits, they attack you, you're a mage, you're in the front lane. Not cool, not cool. But as a rogue, you always want to sneak in and attack enemies when they not actually doing stuff. Additional feature is Assassinate, so ambush. Any successful attack against surprised creature is a critical hit. And I remind you, any critical hit becomes tripled attack instead of doubled with our half-orc race. And last but not least, Assassin's Alacrity. You immediately restore your action and bonus action at the start of the combat. So this means you want to actually sneak up upon targets, start combat with your assassination, and you always will get your action, bonus action at the start of the combat, so you can go and attack even more. That's how you play this rogue. In most of my guides at this stage on level 3, I show you this fight on these imps, how you can actually go and fight with this early game fighter. But right now we can't do anything because we don't have our build yet. We just get our short sword, and that's all we can do. So our main idea in this fight is to actually use our cunning action dash, and best idea to kind of get best position in a fight. So we rolling around enemies, and we can even go and try to sneak up and use our sneaky action again. So I used cunning action dash to start our fight with a lot of movement speed, and we came just behind this dude. And behind this dude we used our hide action, so we hide from this position. And enemies know that we was in this position before. They will go and check, and if they found us over here, then we will lose our stealth check, basically. So this imp goes on this Laezel, this imp goes on Laezel, thankfully, and this one goes and finds us, just like that. So, as you can see, our first attack against targets that haven't taken a turn yet gain a lot of damage. So we're doing our normal damage, and of course we're doing an additional damage with just taking attack on anyone who hasn't actually did any turns. But just right here some tips. So we will see right now some enemies that haven't taken a turn in this fight. So let me remind you, this guy haven't taken any turn in this fight yet. So we can have cunning action dash to give us a lot more movement speed, so we can travel more distance. And as you can see, we get advantage on any of these targets because they haven't taken a turn yet. And because we have advantage, we will actually use our sneak attack, because when we have advantage, we can make this attack. And just look, we're inflicting crazy amount of damage from the start of the fight. So it's kinda can be used as barbarian rogue, something like that. But first of all, let's finish our build. A level 4 rogue will give us additional hit. And most important one is actually alert. And you want to pick it as soon as possible at level 4. This feat will give you +5 bonus to initiative. And that's kinda one of the feats that no one likes to use, but for my build, it's like main feat that you want to use, because you want to have initiative always in every fight. So we're picking alert, of course. On level 5, we get additional class feature, uncanny dodge, and basically we will take half of the usual damage when we get attacked, and we will be attacked pretty much because we are the first guy who entering the fight. So level 6, we get additional skills. Right now you can pick whatever you like. Perception is like one of the most important ones. And then depending on your choice, you can have intimidation if you use it a lot, or maybe you like to use sleight of hand to have like some pickpocketing stuff, or investigation if you like and solve mysteries. It will be of course level 7. We will get additional feature evasion, and against some spells that will inflict damage or half of the damage on successful dexterity saving throw, it instead will deal 0 damage, and only half of damage if you fail the saving throw. And considering your main stat is dex, trying to use dexterity saving throw spells against you is like kinda impossible. Level 8 we will get additional feat, and right now we want to round up our dex. So we go to ability improvement, give our dex plus 18 bonus and plus 1 to charisma. So just in advance, on level 12 we will get additional feat, and we will get feat actors that will increase our charisma by 1 and give us proficiency in deception and performance checks. So that will be our finished build. But if you like, you can go and make plus 19 into dex right now, leave any stat with 15 on later stages, so you can have dexterity to 20 at the end of this build. But right now we're going to the level 9 of course, and we get infiltration expertise. We can adopt a new identity, changing our appearance. And basically it's kind of disguise spell, so we can just go and mask as human if we want to, just like that. That's like role-playing stuff, so pretty funny and useful too. On level 10, new feat, and as I told you, we pick an actor feat for plus 1 to charisma and proficiency in deception and performance checks. Right now some feats are not working, so as you can see we don't have this plus 1 to charisma sadly. So it's totally fine. I guess when this game will be released on PS5, everything will work just as nice. So next, level 11, we get reliable talent, and basically we got proficiency with many skills, and lowest result we can roll is 10. This means we can basically complete any skill ability check that we want and that we are proficient with. And last level 12, last level of this game, additional feat, and that's when you go for ability improvement and dump everything to dexterity. So finished levels will be 20, 16, 10, 16, if Exer will work. And let's go now and show you how this dude will be played in the later games. As you can see in the bottom, we don't see a lot of spells, a lot of skills, and that's nice if you want a really easy character. But again, if you're playing, for example, Fighter is more straightforward, more like easy dude to play, and with Rogue you need to be a lot more smart, a lot more like thinking dude, because as Rogue you will have a lot less HP, but still you will get a pretty nice armor class, but a lot lower than heavy armored fighters. So you need to think in the fight what you want to do. Most of the time you will use cunning action dash to go into enemies and attack them before they attack you, because you will get this advantage against these enemies. And then you even can go and disengage because you have a lot of movement speed with cunning action dash. So you see enemy need to dash to us to just come nearby, and now we just go and attack him, just like that. So most cool part about my build is that you will be playing with a dagger, so exactly as a rogue should be. I guess it's like main problem with rogues in D&D, that they are more efficient with bows, so you can kinda go and attack from the shadows with a bow. That's how you play rogue, normal rogue. But with this build, with this half-orc class, you actually want to use your dagger. Oh, with this build, you want to be first one to go, sneak up on your enemies, even someone who is not your enemy yet, but he will become soon, and try to attack. So you will attack from hiding with advantage, and most important, he will be surprised. And every surprised enemy will get critical strike instead. So it's easy to kill anyone with this stuff, and then just use your cunning actions to just come near enemies and attack them, and you will inflict a lot of damage. But when you face up in a fight with a fighter, for example, and you don't want to make this fight, you can use your cunning action disengage and freely disengage with your bonus action even after you're making some attacks. So we just used our hide action and disengaged with normal dash action. And our enemy is not aware where we are actually. So we can continue using our cunning action dash. And even normal action dash at the same turn. And wrap around our enemies. So as you can see, she is still not knowing where we are, and we are still hiding from her. Because she thinks that's the last point where we actually was in her sight. And just like that, we can sneak up against our enemies and make our sneaky attacks as our rogue. Crazy assassin rogue. Just like that. So, I hope you enjoyed this Baldur's Gate 3 video and you will enjoy playing this build. Another cool videos of Baldur's Gate 3 right now on the screen, and guide to every class, every subclass in the pinned comment when they are ready. So go check them out. See you in the next videos, guys.